All right, welcome back to another episode of Spinning Game, and we have our finals. Let me clear my throat. That's gross. But
You good?
yeah, Suns and Bucks, and again, this series hard to call because again, like most NBA fans, we did not expect this shit. We
Right.
were all prepared for our tickets for Lakers Nets, LeBron versus KD, the three-peat of that. We were going to see all that. Instead, we have Chris Paul versus a Bucks team without Giannis for probably the first two games.
Right.
And I I will say though, I am excited that we do have parity, and the not knowing is what's going to make these finals so good. But yeah, I think both teams are extremely well coached. Atlanta rebound. I mean, the Bucks really rebounded really well after the Atlanta series with those past two games. Drew Holiday doing his thing, Chris Middleton turning into Kobe Bryant during certain stretches of the game. But
Right.
yeah, and I really think we need to acknowledge and give love to Chris Middleton because there's moments that he's had in these playoffs, be it the game winner in game one versus Miami, or like all of his plays that he made versus the Nets, or even the stuff versus the Hawks. Like we need to give shout out to him. Drew Holiday has also hit big buckets. So I don't know. But again, the whole thing is who's guarding Devin Booker. I personally think it's going to be Drew Holiday, and he
No.
can do some damage. But I am very excited to see how the series goes. I hope it goes 6 or 7 because I do think it will be a long series, and I do want Giannis to eventually play and be healthy. But yeah, I'm very excited for these finals.
Yeah, man. I'm really excited. I think I'm gonna just say I think the Suns. Now I might be completely wrong. You know, I really hope I'm not because I want Chris Paul to get the ring.
Yeah,
I don't care. That's my favorite player. But I genuinely think that it's going to be the Suns. Just the way they've been playing versus the Lakers versus the Clippers. It just seems right, man. It just seems right. The Nugget. I mean, not the Nugget. Fucking Jazz. Like it just seems right. So I think it's Chris Paul's time to get a ring. I think D Book out of him and Jason Tatum and Trey Young and Luca, he's gonna be the first one to get his ring out of
yeah,
those groups. And I'm excited. I'm really excited because I do want to see how Drew Holiday does versus D Book. If he's gonna figure out a way to shut him down, and if he does, then how Chris Paul is gonna respond. We've seen Chris Paul, whenever D Book is down and Chris Paul is healthy, drop damn near 40, if not 40. So which is crazy for Chris Paul out of all people to drop 40
yeah.
because such
Shit's
a
amazing though. Shit's still amazing that he's doing that at 36. And hey,
right.
it's
But
that other nigga who's 36 and currently in LA. You better get Dame. We need Dame. Anyway, I digress. But
yeah. Anyways, man, it seems like it's gonna be an exciting one. Now I'm not gonna lie. I thought the Atlanta Hawks versus the Suns was gonna be the more exciting one. I'm 100% sure that would have had more, or I mean, higher ratings than this one. But it's still gonna be good because you just don't know what's gonna go down, like you said. Somebody else could get injured. Um, Giannis could come back stronger than ever. Might come back weaker than you just don't know who's gonna show up, and that's just the beauty of this entire NBA playoffs. And I'm excited to see, man.
yeah, and again, like people, there's a meme going around saying that like, yo, like Chris Paul was really the NBA, like the head of the NBA Players Association, and he approved this season. It
Right.
literally like everybody got injured, so everybody's like, "This is part of Chris Paul's master plan." Ha ha ha! And I'm like, nigga, nobody knew this shit would happen. Like nobody wishes an injury, especially when a bunch of these guys are friends. Nobody wishes that on each other. So, but I do think that this season, in its totality, will be told these two separate seasons of just like the NBA bubble and then like the return to normalcy. Like we got the best playoff basketball we've had in years. Like regardless of injury or shit that people that like playoff series that all every single one of them seemed to have injury. Every single one of them just like you were glued to your television to see what player would go off, surprising performances, and all of that shit. Paul George redeemed himself in my eyes. Kawhi is probably going to resign, and I'm not really worried about that. But I do think though that now, because this young generation proved that, hey, we're here to stay. Now, like the older heads of the league are just like, damn, like they. I think the older heads have maybe 2 more years, and then it's gonna be the young guys, like team, the young guys world now. But I love the fact that the torch is getting passed now, and that's what I'm reflecting on this season is just seeing all of the players from like our generation, where like we've seen them like hoop since they were in high school and in college, and now they're like in the NBA doing their thing. It's great to see, and I'm just so excited for the
Definitely.
finals. And also, what's going to happen next season when everybody's fully healthy, back into the swing of like a normal regular season and all that shit. Team USA, they've already started like camps for that. So I hope that, there's good talks about who's going who for free agency. And yeah, also I want to talk about the Rachel Nichols thing and real spill. But yeah,
Mhm.
I really am just excited for what the NBA is. And July 9th. So we got Miss Snow Allegra dropping. And I don't know if you know who Snow Allegra is, but let me put y'all on. So this woman has made one of the most timeless R&B projects I've heard in the past few years with All Those Feelings Again,
Oh
and
yeah.
just songs like Situationship or Whoa or what's the other song? I've been waiting my whole life to find someone like you. Like someone like you. Like songs like that are just timeless, and they have that like old soul R&B feel that we've been missing. And that's why I'm so excited for her album. Tyler's got 2 songs featured on it. So I'm
I didn't even
excited.
know that. Whoa, whoa. Didn't even know that. What? I didn't look at the track list. So okay. Dang. Oh wow, he does. Okay.
Yeah, Tyler got 2 songs. If y'all know who James Fauntleroy is, he's
Mhm.
literally he again, if y'all are real music fans, y'all know that man has a Ty Dolla Sign like power to whenever he's featured on anything. His voice just elevates it to different heights. So I'm so excited for this. And yeah, I love Snow Allegra. I hope that I really think that this is going to be like one of the better R&B projects to come out this year. And R&B has been weird this year because 2020, I think when everybody was in 2019, when everybody was isolated and stuff, like everybody was more in their feelings and looking more into like, all the sad stuff. Like the reason why Over It did so well for Summer Walker was because of like how like emotional that album is. I still think Over It, like out of the past few years, my favorite R&B projects to come out are Control and Over It by Summer Walker. Because regardless of what Summer Walker does in the media or whoever the hell she is, that woman makes amazing music. And I really do want to give her respect. And like the fact that she made an entire album about her toxic ass relationship with the dude that she's producing it with is sickening, but it is
That's,
but it
that's
is amazing.
I don't know how they
It's toxic as hell, but damn it if that project won't good. Like just hit after hit after hit. And I really am excited for what R&B is gonna be. Waiting for whenever Brent drops, if Giveon drops, what happens. But yeah, R&B is in a weird state because we had a bunch of new artists come out, but then they haven't in like 2018 and 19, and then they just haven't dropped. And like
Mhm.
Giveon kind of ran shit in 2020, but
Yeah.
now like we're just kind of waiting to see like who's gonna be the next R&B artist to, like step up and come out of our show. And I really think that whenever like you talk to like adults about R&B and shit, like they will always be like, "Oh my gosh, it's not the same. Y'all just be talking y'all shit. There's no subtlety." I'm like, "Fam, they're just not famous." Like, sir,
Right.
Ari Lennox, literally, sir, Ari Lennox, Snow Allegra, like all of these artists just need more clout. They just need more love when it comes to that field because everybody now wants people to be rappers who can sing a little.
Very true.
But
Very true.
instead of just having like straight like raw R&B singers like they had from the 70s until like the early 2000s.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a label thing, but whenever I'm on a radio station and well or listening to radio in the car, which is rare, but sometimes I do, and I'm listening to the R&B uh radio station, it's all old school stuff.
Yeah.
Like there's no new school, like as if Snow, as if her, as if Kaylani, as if Tiana Taylor, as if
Sorry.
Janae, so on and so forth. Sir,
Like just Sir,
Giveon,
SZA, Giveon.
I can go on and on and on about the new R&B artists now, but they just don't play it, and I don't understand. I don't understand it. I don't get it. Like I get it. Some of that stuff is tough. Like I was just listening to Keith Sweat Make It Last, like listen
Yeah.
Make It Last Forever. That's a
Oh
tough song.
no, I was listening to Forever by Lady by Jodeci, bro. Like that shit just
I get it. I
yeah,
get it.
I see what y'all mean. If you like literally like watch the Isley Brother verses
Right.
in Earth, Wind, and Fire, hearing that shit, bro, that shit touched my soul. Like I did not know. Because again, like when you're growing up in my generation, like everybody is literally listening to the samples of these guys.
Right.
So
Literally. Yeah.
like we're
So
just listening to them being sampled. We're not listening to the original hits from them. So like listening to an Isley Brothers song when like now I'm just like, oh shit, like Here We Go Again is my favorite Isley Brothers song because that nigga is literally singing about situationships before that's even a term. That shit is
right.
amazing. Because he's just like, nah, like you just really love somebody and shit ain't going right, but you gotta keep going. You gotta keep going back. And like it's beautiful to see. And I get it. I get what the adults mean. And they always say like there's a lack of subtlety. Like all y'all are so explicit with the shit. I'm like, wait, the Isley
Bruh.
Brothers literally are talking
No.
about popping that thing.
I
I
was
don't
just
care. Like
like,
y'all swear they have a song called Between the Sheets. And that's and
right.
y'all
Come on.
just sitting here like footsteps in the dark. Like, y'all really are just out here saying that, like, oh my gosh, like y'all are so nasty, y'all are so explicit. Like, there's no true love. Nobody's being wooed. And I'm just like, honestly, I think it's because the generation wants to be more cut and straight to the point. It's just like, yo, I want you. What we doing? If we ain't doing it, all right, cool. I'll just be toxic. I'll just be hiding away, doing me. But it's all right though. But yeah, I really want more people to get put onto more R&B, and that's why like
Yeah.
I'm gonna like start putting out more R&B playlists to kind of like and also like put on more new school R&B artists because like people
Yeah.
don't know who this group they're from LA and they have a great sound and it's sort of like rock and R&B a little bit and it's just oh it sounds so good. I played it like when we were hanging out. Yeah,
Yeah.
that album's tough, but like that shit, like we need to like give more hype to these younger R&B artists because they're so amazing and they have so much depth to them.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Snow is one of those ones, bro. She is one of those ones. She is top tier in women's R&B, and I'm really just excited because like she just I don't know. She
she speaks
just
to your soul though.
yeah. She definitely has a lot of soul, and I think that's what we need in 2021. Not to say that 2020 R&B didn't bring that because it did, but I don't know. Snow's Snow's sounds like outside to me. Like if I were
Yeah,
to hear that going out on a dinner or a brunch and they was playing it at a restaurant or I was going to a live concert, that's what I would want to hear. You know what I'm saying? So that's definitely outside music to me, just in a different way. Not the fast outside, we outside lifestyle that everybody's
but just like catch a vibe and enjoy the moment.
casual, yeah, some casual, let's go out, you know what I'm saying? Eat outside, listen to some live music type stuff. That's the Snow Allegra sound to me. Yeah. I'm excited.
Okay. Yeah. Also, so this is what I wanted to talk about in real spill is the Maria Taylor situation with Rachel Nichols. And my thing is, and what I'm seeing, and I get, but like I get both people's points, but I will say this, like Rachel Nichols literally put on like misjudged athletes onto her show, and I can't deny that. I really love the fact that she like tells stories. But again, the fact that you as a woman, like and I don't know if this is my place to speak on, but like as a woman, like you can't just be willing to just bash somebody and not be willing to like give them their crown and their flowers. Because Maria Taylor's a go. Like I do not give a shit. Like that, like when it comes to covering sports, and just like when it came to talking about social issues, when it comes to like how she covers football and basketball, she is amazing. And again, she brings the culture. You can bring in an audience of black fans to literally enjoy the game. And honestly, like y'all do realize that ESPN is literally trying to fit a demographic. So like, and most of their demographic, they needed black people to rock with them too. So why not give Maria Taylor her opportunity? And again, this whole thing
Yeah.
thought process of her being a token of like, oh my gosh, like she's just doing this to replace me. It's like, Rach, like we love you, and I love her as a reporter, but again, it's like, yo, like you're not like you can't say that shit. Like, and I get it, she was recorded, like the conversation, like she hated that it was leaked. But again, like if you're black and working there, like you would just be like, damn, bro, like
Yeah.
they really think I'm just here as a token. and not
Yeah.
here because I busted my ass, I grinded and shit, and I deserve this shit.
Mhm.
And she's like, and ESPN might have done it for the social justice movement. I personally think that they probably did because I'd never seen more black analysts on on that station until Black Lives Matter happened, until like all the stuff with Black Lives Matter happened. But again, I think that that's a good positive change where you're willing to show black people actually tell their stories with their issues, but then still praise them for being good analysts. We can have both. It can't just be like having a white woman tell every single story about what it means to be black because she doesn't know the intersections of being black. Like she's a great storyteller, but she doesn't know like the experiences like of a that a D Rose could go through, or that like a Damian Lillard could go through in Oakland, or like a Ja Morant, or like any of their stories. You can't tell it because you're living in this white lens where you don't see that shit. Versus like Maria, she's from Atlanta. She might come from an area where she knows people like that. So why wouldn't you have that person tell that story? That's what kind of that's what kind of rubbed me the wrong way about it. But again, I do respect her as a reporter, and I do want her to like still have her opportunities because I love what she does with the jump and just having a bunch of NBA players just like kick game. But it's just I don't know, it sucks.
Yeah. It sucks. That's why for me, I'm just so indifferent about like, different racial quotas colleges and the professional world has, because like I get it. You need more diversity. Like scientifically, statistics show that the more diverse your room is, the more successful a company is.
Yeah.
Also, it just looks good, face value, it looks good to the viewers and who's watching, especially in this more socially conscious world. At the same time, it's like, man, when we get there, it's like, oh, you're only here
Because
because
you
you're
fit it.
fitting the quota, right? And that's like just completely ignoring just as much, if not more, hard work that we had to put in to get
Yeah.
to that spot. That's not acknowledging all the several hundreds of thousands of other um black people that we had to beat out and compete with to get
Yeah.
those limited amount of spots. It's also negating the actual talent that people have. Like, think of this, I'm just thinking like the best sports analysts out there, and a lot of them are black. Just saying. A
Yeah.
lot of
A lot of them are black. Like I will like I love again, Skip Bayless has cut his teeth and that man is rich, but he's literally paid to be a troll. Like again, he is a great reporter. He's great when it comes to like pulling up statistics. But again, right now he is paid to be a troll. Like it's okay. Like I'm not saying that you can't cut your teeth in the media like that. But
right,
again, these two-person shows are literally having people be trolls and not analysts. They're literally there to just promote
different.
clicks and just here for social media. So why not have somebody who's real, authentic, tells their stories, and then also is black and is talented enough to actually know what the fuck they're talking about when it comes to
Right.
sport? Like like to be like white people either have to be like trolls or just like promote narratives instead of actually knowing like what the fuck these people actually go through.
Right. Yeah.
Versus like when you're black and you see that shit and you get to be connected with these players, like why not have them? Why not have people with more of a personal connection to the players be able to report to that shit? Like
Yeah.
that's just always gonna be my thing, and that's why because for me, like I always want to be like for this in this space, I want to be like Stuart Scott because that dude was literally himself the entire fucking time. He was paid to just be him, and he literally made it cool. He made sports sound so cool. He had swagger about himself because he was black, but he wasn't a caricature.
Right.
Like he
Yeah.
was just himself.
He was himself.
And
He was chill, calm, just man. I
yeah,
don't know,
that's
man.
why I say rest in peace Stuart Scott all the time because like he's who I want to be like because that man is just himself. He was himself. And I really hate the fact that in sports media, even when we fucking succeed, they're still like, you need to fit this box. And you might be fitting, and then when your coworker says you fit a quota, it's still like you have to fit in this fucking box just for us because this is what the company needs. And that's not acknowledging that. And that's the most infuriating thing.
Yeah, and also for me, it's like it may not even be true. Like maybe she didn't get the job because it was a quote. Maybe she got the job because she was actually like hella qualified. And maybe she's
She's
going up the ranks
fuck, dude.
because she's a beast. Like maybe it's not because of it has to do anything with her skin color. But now that you said that,
Sideline reporting for college football, the NFL, and the NBA, holding
thank
it down every single fucking weekend. I don't. Again, don't
you.
do not talk shit about Maria Taylor. No, like that. That's I'm gay. I'm
Yeah,
gay about any black analysts, specifically black women analysts. But
100%.
like,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, and we already probably getting our head like, man, maybe I only have this position because I am black, you know? And but then to have another colleague who's jealous or whatever say that publicly, now it's gonna be constantly in your head of maybe I'm not actually good enough. And that it
and
just it,
being black, like you already have that shit. You already like,
yeah,
regardless of how hard we work, there's always this imposter syndrome shit of just always feeling like we're never gonna be good enough.
right. And it's like when we do see the talent and when we are just as good as everybody else, then it's like, okay, then what's holding all of these companies back from giving us the proper respect, the proper payment, the proper algorithms, the
Yeah.
proper
But again, it's because white people are allowed to be mediocre. Because like it's also something I see like with films now. Because and ironically, like everybody like shits on the Fast and Furious franchise. This has a point, but like everybody shits on the Fast and Furious franchise. But the reason why it does so well is because they have a diverse cast, and
yeah,
that's why Hollywood's pushing for more diversity. They're one of the like main proponents. Black Panther was a proponent because it pushed diversity. Because literally, like black people are not allowed to have movies or anything be truly trash unless it's like a Tyler Perry movie where we just accept it, like, hey, it's gonna be black trauma and shit. But like that's his niche. He's a billionaire because of it. Good for him. But like black people are not allowed to make mediocre shit, and we're also not allowed to make shit that doesn't educate white
yeah,
people. But when we get that opportunity, when there's actually but there are like three shows that break that mold: Insecure, Watchmen, and trying to think of another show. And Fatherhood, the new Kevin Hart movie, did really well of just like
right,
explaining, telling stories about black fathers. But like just shit like that. Like we're taught to literally all of our characters are literally there to like help teach white people like, hey, racism is bad. Because it shouldn't have taken Eric Killmonger having the same ideas of a bunch of people for y'all to be like, huh, maybe we should care about black people and colonization because they might want to agree with this motherfucker. And I
right.
agreed with him. Honestly, at the end of the day, I really thought that, hey, bro, he had the wrong means of method. He had the wrong method, but if black people control the most powerful element on the fucking planet,
Which we kind of do. We try
we are again,
personal.
that element is in us, and everybody wants to copy us and be us. But again,
And it's not even is that, but it's also like literally if you go to Africa, all the precious metals and jewels
that's
are
what we have. And they stole that shit from us because they were broke. They
like
had shit. And that's the thing, like, and everybody wants to say, and that's another thing with diversity. Saying that we're just here to fit a quota means that we were lazy, that the work we put in, the time that we put in, just as black people, but also as fucking hustlers trying to make it in this industry. The fact that you're just saying that we're just here because we're black, that is so demeaning. It is so wrong because literally our ancestors fought so damn hard just for us to even be in these places.
right.
And they couldn't even, there wasn't even a reality where they could imagine us being here. And now the fact that we're here, we're dominating every industry. We are the best. When we get there, we're the fucking best. Like, because
Man,
we have no other option to be.
and
And
it's
that's
not
why I think people don't get.
and it's not even our answer, it's our grandparents, it's our parents, it's us still,
Yeah,
bro. There's still dudes that's crawling so we can walk like tomorrow.
for real.
Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just yeah, it sucks, bro. It really sucks. Like the amount of trailblazing we've had to do since we were released from plantation slavery, because there's still forms of slavery.
13th Amendment. Yeah. They fucking hate us, dude. Oh my God.
There's still slavery going on. but the amount of trailblazing we had to do after the fences were released is crazy. And every time we chop down a couple trees to pave the road to make it smooth for the others, everybody else says, "Oh, you wouldn't have this unless we gave it to you, and we're only giving it to you only because you're black."
Like you can't say that shit because y'all don't understand. And again, white white people will never understand that shit of just like when we lose, whenever we take a loss in life, that shit is personal because like
Hundred
it's
percent.
it's the community and the family that has invested in your ass. Like you can't fail. Like and as black dudes, and this is just strictly like just from my standpoint, like I got a family who is on my ass and just about me being great. And I've always wanted that of myself. And they deserve that shit. But it's also like y'all don't realize that we have to want this shit for ourselves, but we also got to do this shit to help save a family, a community, and help people around us. Like it's not just us when we get in these positions. We get in these positions so that the next kid that wants to do this shit gets there, and the next person, the next person, the next person, on and on and on. Because we're so far behind, we need to like literally drag our generations with us and just be like, motherfucker, I'm putting y'all on my back. I got this shit, and I'm gonna carry y'all. And yeah, and people don't realize that like that creates this thing. And I saw this thing where it's like black existentialism, where literally like we'll be like, yo, life is ass, but then on top of that, you're black. So you gotta deal with all the extra shit that comes with it, with microaggressions, worrying about a cop killing you randomly, and just all the random shit that you can go through in a day.
Honestly, just being
Like
degraded. Yeah.
like when you watch shows like Rick and Morty or like see like these like depressed white dudes who are like all powerful, you're just like, nigga, y'all could live a day just being us, bro. Like y'all can have your existentialist nightmares and be like, oh my gosh, like life is meaningless, it sucks, it's trash. Like because if you watch a show like BoJack Horseman, where it's literally about like this horse, he's played by a white dude. His character is obviously very white, but like he's just like life sucks, it's horrible. And I'm like, bro, you couldn't live in this shit because that's why I think black people are the best at laughing at the abyss called life. Because we got all the regular like life being hardship, then also it's hard because people hate us because of our skin.
Right.
Historically, people hate us because of our skin shade, and it's all that boils down to. But when you are who you think you are, and you become who you think you become that person, and you get on these stages, that's what fucking matters. That's how you win. And
Right.
that's why what I want for all of us, especially because I believe that we will be that generation to be like, no, we're here to stay. We're not here because we're black. We're here because we're better than y'all, and we own this shit. And I want, and again, I hate the fact that black kids are always told to like be humble when you get your position. Motherfucker, be proud of that shit. Brag on that shit. Talk your shit. Don't stop trying to dub yourselves down for white people. Stop trying to be palatable to white people. Be who the fuck you are.
And now you really got to be confident and sure of yourself now because you're gonna always have people like that saying,
Saying
"Hey,
that you don't deserve this
you're
position.
only here because you're black. You're only here because you were born with this." And we all know what that means when a white person tells a black person you were born to play basketball or do music. Like
Nah,
you're saying
motherfucker,
that to
I'm
be
here. I'm here because I'm that person. I'm
right.
I'm him. Like that's why like I don't understand why white like anytime like a black pro athlete is cocky, like they're like, oh my gosh, he's so brash, he's arrogant,
Oh
he's
man.
like Trey Young being a villain shouldn't be him being a villain. That's that
Richard,
motherfucker being him. That's him
Richard,
being himself and not dumbing himself down for white people. Like what let black people be willing to be themselves. Stop. We are not supposed to fit boxes. We are not supposed to fit binaries. That's the entire point of this show. We talk our shit and we are supposed to be who the fuck we think we are. That
right.
is it. That is all we boil down to. Y'all cannot take that shit from me. I am him. Regardless of like whatever shit I go through, if I'm depressed, if I'm happy, all I know is I'm him. I was meant to be on this planet to do great shit. And like and again, like I don't know if my life will be short, I don't know if my life will be long. But I know in this shit and through the life that I've lived, I've done shit where I know that I'm him. So I want to keep doing that and tell other black kids just to be who the fuck they are. Which again is like why I love artists like Tyler and Jaden Smith and Willow Smith because they are willing to be themselves, and let Black kids be themselves and stop trying to make them fit these respectability politics. And it's our parents too, and that's what I want to talk about next episode too, so we can
Ooh,
wrap this shit up. But like,
ooh.
just our parents and just having to fit into the fucking boxes because we're not supposed to. But
Yeah,
yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys have a great day. I've been Chris.
I'm Drew. See
Peace.
y'all.